I love Gleipnir. I hate Gleipnir. There's so many great things about the show and it gets me so invested, but there's also a lot of gripes that I have with it, and there's quite a few times where it left me rolling my eyes. So today I'm going to be telling you about the good and the bad of Gleipnir. The first thing that stood out to me as a good thing when I was first watching was the art. The backgrounds are detailed and colorful, characters are very expressive and drawn really well. The fights are super smooth and make each hit feel heavy and powerful. Overall, it has a very polished look that suits the mysterious dark atmosphere of the plot. The second thing that jumped out to me was the music. Gleipnir has a lot more modern sounding songs. There's a lot of like EDM and dubsteppy songs when tensions are rising or during fights. And during those moments, the music really gets your adrenaline pumping. They actually sound pretty good. There's some bops and it definitely does a good job of setting the mood. There's also some beautiful, more melancholic piano songs that they use for the more dramatic moments, and fuck baby, they hit. I think the distinct music choice also matches the whole dark and mysterious atmosphere really well. Speaking of, I should probably explain the story and said atmosphere. Now, the plot is the thing I love most about Gleipnir, and it's by far its strongest point. I'll get into these two, Shuichi and Clair, as well as the first two episodes specifically after, but the other characters that are introduced later on in the story are written super well. They're all really interesting and have strong, unique personalities. Even the villains, some of them you actually end up liking just for their outlook on life or just their personality alone. The show takes itself pretty seriously the majority of the time, and it's very dramatic, but the voice acting is really good, so it doesn't make it hard for you to take the show seriously too. The main premise is this. Minor spoiler warning. There's an alien who crash landed on Earth, and the data for him to find his friends are like encrypted onto these coins or something. These coins are scattered in the mountains outside the small town, and if you find a coin and bring it to the alien homie, he will grant you one wish with his alien powers. Bring him 100 and you get a crazy powerful wish, potentially world ending. So we have the main premise of our death game, and we have Clair and Shuichi throwing themselves into the game with the goals of finding out about Clair's sister, Elena, and how she's involved, as well as why Shuichi turns into a monster mascot thing. But there's a lot more mysteries in store. The story is like spoon-fed to us slowly. Every episode we get another juicy bite of hints and answers, and by the time episode like 8 comes, you think, hey, the food's almost gone. And then the show says nah and brings out twice as much food. Suddenly you're asking yourself how deeply rooted Shuichi is to the game, how his past relates to the other characters, if Shuichi and Clair are even the main character of the show, why the fuck is Clair still there? Let me get into some of the things I don't like about the show. Gleipnir has by far one of the worst starts to an anime I've ever seen. The art, animation, and music is real nice, voice acting is pretty good, but holy shit, the things that happen are heinous. And it just makes the main characters unlikable. The first 2.5 episodes were bad enough that I was gonna drop the show, but it was recommended to me by a friend and I was told it got a lot better, so I endured. Basically, the show starts off introducing Shuichi, who kind of felt like Shinji until he saw a fire and decided to go see if anybody needed help. He gets there and sees Clair in the middle of the fire taking a quick sleep. He rescues her and all that, and then within the first half of the first episode, Shuichi, for no reason, fucking sneaks a peek at her pussy. Gleipnir, what the fuck? This is not only totally out of character for Shuichi, which is made even more clear the more you watch the show, but is the first big problem I have. From the very first episode, there's like constant in-your-face fan service. It's all over the place. I'm not sure if it's there to add to the gritty, mature vibe of the show, or just there for shameless fan service, but either way, it's annoying as hell. Anyways, of course Shuichi drops his phone at the scene of the fire, so Clair finds it when she wakes up and finds him at school to blackmail him into working with her. She baits him onto the roof of the school, sets the phone on the edge of the roof and tells him to grab it, and then she pushes him off. The fuck, Clair? Attempted murder because she had a suspicion that he was a monster. Of course, Shuichi survives the fall, and now Clair has enough dirt on him to blackmail him into being her fucking dog. And she looks so happy the whole time. Not too long after Clair and Shuichi have been working together, Clair starts to push this idea that they're like lovers or some shit. Like, what? Shuichi is a beta taken hostage via blackmail, and then this bitch Stockholm syndromes him into thinking it's love. These are the main characters of the show, by the way. Clair is so annoying, manipulative, and pure evil, and she's always naked. By the way, when Shuichi first goes to Claire's apartment, it's gross, and she has fucking ramen cups, styrofoam ramen cups in the sink. That may seem minor, but who the fuck puts that shit in the sink? Are you gonna reuse it? And then Shuichi cleans the house for her. Fuck! She only made it anywhere because of Shuichi's power, yet she walks around like she's Conor fucking McGregor. Bitch, what do you have to be confident about? She doesn't get better or develop throughout the show at all either. She just sours it completely. I've had it. Get this bitch off my show.
That nigga Lex Luger.
I go hard in the motherfucking paint, nigga. Leave you stankin', nigga. What the fuck you thinking, nigga? I won't die. Front yard, broad day with the S. See Gucci, that's my motherfucking nigga. I hang in the.
Overall, if you can put up with the fan service, the absolutely brutal start, and this bitch, then the story's gonna take you on a wild ride. I hated it at first, but once the story started to get real juicy, I was fucking hooked. It's definitely not for everybody, but there's an amazing story to be experienced here, and if you think you can put up with the bad parts of it, I highly recommend giving it a shot. Anyways, that's it for me, boys. Thanks again so much for watching my video. It means a lot. Special thanks to those who are supporting me on Patreon. Talkame, Baron, Waker, Juicy, Clay, Spooky Snake, and Kent. Your guys' support means more to me than you could ever imagine, so I'll continue to do my best to provide great content. See you all next week.